Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, EJ Parker. Today we have a spectacular, it's an unbagging, because these things are in bags still. This and this are spectacular, miraculous finds, I must say. What are they? A lot of these are vintage rubber toy jigglers, which are rubber toys from like the late 1970s and 80s. And they've become collectible. So they can be like Halloween items, like rubber, like witches or skeletons, or they can be dinosaurs or bugs. They could be a lot of things. And again, they're quite collectible. So whenever you find rubber toy jigglers, what collectors call them, these rubber jiggly toys, they're found on eBay for collector prices. I'm a full-time vintage and antique dealer, and I sell. You don't find these out in the wild, so to find 2 bags is amazing. So let's see what's inside. I had to do this. I haven't done a lot of YouTube lately because it's been so cold here in Ohio, and I've been sick because of the cold. Let's start with this bag. All right, so this is an unbagging. So if you know more about an item than I do, leave a comment. Let's start. This is awesome. Let's see. Let's get this. And the cool thing is, like, I collect these, right? That's trouble. But most of these will probably be for sale at my eBay store, Vintage Classic Solutions. So let's start. Look at this thing. This is an awesome, angry bottlenose dolphin. This is awesome. It's just so gnarly. It's had enough. It ain't gonna take it no more. You know what I mean? Usually they're made in Hong Kong. Let's see what it says. Now, the names that are big are like Ben Cooper, Russ Berry, and typically these are made in Hong Kong prior 1984-ish. After 1984, they're made in China. What does that say? Hong Kong. So you know it's good. So this is it could be 1980, could be 1979. This is a very angry, disgruntled dolphin. Let's move along. This is great. Also collectible. This guy's been in a couple battles of T-Rex, right? Got Snaggletooth. This is a Stegosaurus. This is a quintessential early 80s like sandbox toy. You have a bunch of these in the sandbox, leave them out there, and that was it. And they're quite collectible as well. I don't specialize in sandbox toys, but there's a genre. These early 80s plastic blow molded things. This has Stegosaurus. Usually on the tails where you'll find a maker's mark. I don't see a maker's mark on that Stegosaurus right there. If you're having to manage all these, I had to do this because I found a bag like 2 or 3 days ago, and then I put it in the garage because it's just too cold. And then I found another bag at the same store today. I'm like, this is the best. This is incredible. So that tells me that someone donated a toy box from the early 80s, and I was in the right place, the right time twice. It's got to be consistent, folks. What is this? This. Someone knows what this is. If you know what it is, leave a comment. Made in Japan. I can always use my Google Lens, but again, this is an unbagging. Made in Japan. It's got a different. It's like a thumb puppet or a finger puppet, right? I'm not sure what that's from though. Let's see. Oh, this is great. This is what I'm talking about. Look at that color. This is the early 80s blow molded plastic dinosaur set you'd bring in the sandbox with your friends. I remember, we all, you bring them to the creek, play in the mud. I'm sure a few got buried and have become fossilized from our youth. This one doesn't say anything on the tail, but that's just great. Take a look at that detailing. It's hollow, right? That's super cool. That color is just freaking awesome. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh wow, we got this is like a Bendham. This is a Native American, like a chief going to battle. Got a knife and got it's like a blade of some sort, like a tomahawk, I guess. They're also collectible, made in Hong Kong. So we're, again, pre-84-ish, give or take. These have a wire inside, hence the name Bendums. You can still find these at like toy stores and stuff, like drug stores. These bend, and again, some of these are really collectible, of course. This one, I have, just being a dealer of this kind of stuff, I have a box of this stuff, and I don't have him though. He's in rather good condition too, actually. Hand painted, right? Adds to the quaintness and charm. All right, let's see here. This is made in Hong Kong as well. This is a mold you'll see in dinosaur toys, the 80s and even early 90s. This is made in Hong Kong. What does the tail say? Made in Hong Kong, twice. Solid plastic. I've seen this before in a few different molds, or like different eras. Early 90s, 80s. This is probably early 80s for sure. What is this? This is a skink or a gecko? What is this? Let's see. I don't know this. This is a solid rubber, no maker's mark. This is reminiscent of something like you can make at home in a mold, right? There was various kits throughout time. Kids could make their own whatevers, monsters or creepy crawlers, and that's what this looks like due to the crudeness of it. Let's see what else we got. Here we have another Native American. This is a large one. This is like a Marx, I'd want to say. Marx is a prolific toy company from the U.S. I don't see a maker's mark. It's got really fine detailing though, actually. The closer you look, I'm not sure if I can get it in this light. There's just like almost like a fine texture throughout. Got the spear, it's been bent. I don't see a maker's mark on this. This is solid plastic. This is a little bit older than I'd say. This is, that's a little bit older than the mid 80s. All right, well, ooh, this is awesome. What the heck is this joyful little bug made in Hong Kong? So it's good. Let this sink in for a moment. Look how cool this thing is. Let this apprehend your attention. This joyful little bug. Got a little cane, like a ladybug. This is awesome. It's got the like that old school like tinseled string or whatever. This is great. I don't know this character, or do I? Oh, what's it saying? It says something. 1977. There you go. This is a little bit before my time, folks. This is awesome. 77. Wow, the date. Made in Hong Kong, 1977. It gets better. Look at this. I know this. What are these? I see these a lot on eBay. This is like a prisoner of some sort. What is this? Creepy something. I forget the name of this like series, whatever. This is like a real jiggly rubber, semi-transparent, and they still remain, jiggly. They got the formula right. I collect rubber toys from like the 30s and 40s and 50s, and the early ones, the formulas weren't correct, or not correct, but the formulas weren't worked out. So after time, the rubber just became solid and really hard. These have remained jiggly. This is cool. This is like a semi-transparent crab. Check that out. It looks really cool in the light. Let's see if it says anything. This could be on the newer end. I don't know. Oh wait, no. Made Hong Kong. Heck yeah. I thought this could be like late 80s. Hong Kong. This is sweet. Been to Hong Kong a couple times, and the crabs do look like this. Hong Kong's awesome. All right, so this is just like a cheap plastic dinosaur, but we know this is probably from a toy box from, the early 80s. How cool is that? Made in Hong Kong. So, this could be late 70s, actually. I'm leaning towards 70s now, because I'm not seeing anything dated 80. What do we got here? Now we have And there's more, folks. It gets better and better. We got another bag. This is a bendy giraffe, a Bendum. I'm not sure if it's an official Bendum, but it's a bendy giraffe. Hong Kong. We do have, oh cool, it's Imperial, yes. Imperial is another maker of these bendy rack toys, cheap rubber things. I believe they became the company Ja Rule that you see now in like dollar stores. But Imperial's a huge name in rubber cheap toys. This is great. What? It's got a name. I can't read it. BRACO, possibly. That is sweet. And again, these are, the rubber is in good condition. Not brittle. They weren't like in an attic in like Florida or Texas, like the hot sun for 50 years, you know what I mean? This is classic Imperial at its finest, folks. This what, like a skink? Is this a skink? Come on. Give a dog a bone. I think it's a skink. Just say yes, someone. This is an Imperial classic 1977 Hong Kong made rubber skink, right? It's canary yellow. It's a skink, I think. It's not a squeaker. He's kind of, it's not a Chinosaur. He's kind of a yeller or a screamer, a skink. And I love its date. So that's the second thing dated 1977. So we may have, I mean, you know, pinpointed the point in time these came from, a toy box. This is great. Look at this thing. Happy little skink. Let's put it right there. I love Imperial. They date their items. So here we just have two cheap, what are these things called? Dimetrodons, I think. Proto-dinosaurs. And here we got a Lesney Matchbox series made in England. The Lotus Eraser. He needs some new tires. Open racer. It's a classic toy. Paint's pretty good. Very, you know, but that's in there. That's not new for sure. Oh, cool. There's a wheel in here, a tire in here. Wow, look at that. Pop that bad boy on. And then there's a broken plate from the Stegosaurus. And this is the last from this bag. This is, I say, the best for last. This is sweet. Now, this is a collectible genre that can cross over. Halloween. This could be your monster. This is Imperial, right? Yes. Imperial Toy Corp. 1973 Hong Kong. Look at this gruesome mug. Now these, I've seen these in a series of different colors, like, you know, like really bizarro, like, you know, yellow skeleton with green paint and a red skeleton with maybe black paint, and this is the black one with the white paint. And I've seen even contemporary ones that mimic these, but this is a Jiggler. There's no wire skeleton within this skeleton. A couple broken ribs, but you know, this is awesome. This is a collectible, and that crosses over. I do collect vintage Halloween. That's sweet. Now we have another bag. Get that one right there. This is awesome. I couldn't believe it. I mean, when I found another one today, I was like flabbergasted. I was like, this one, I don't know. It's just an amazing, you don't find these toys in the wild. At least I don't. And when you do, you celebrate. And I'm sharing that celebration with all you. All right, this is an ox, a very handsome ox. This is screaming 1977 sandbox. Come on. This is awesome. It's good. It's a nice mold. Nice lines. I don't see a maker's mark on this, which adds to the allure. This is great. The color, boom. Get that guy in there. All right, she's Louise. Here we go. Your obligatory Halloween goofy bat. Guarantee this thing's made in Hong Kong. Pan-painted, glorious details. And this is that, you know, that's that funny go-to fur of the Rubbermaid toys of the late 70s and, you know, mid-70s, that bumpy, right, that texture. I can recall that from a kid. I was born in 79, so I you know, 81, 82, I can recall back far enough. Is this Imperial? Come on now. It says Hong Kong. I don't know. Got little claws there. This is a great one. This is extra goofy. Those are usually on a string. That's funny. That's a good one. This is an awesome bag. Look at this. Now I see, is this Imperial? This is Hong Kong. This is that jiggly rubber, solid rubber. It's not a squeaker. This is a forlorn crocodile or alligator. He's not too happy. This is great. Now I have found a couple of these in the wild. This actual forlorn rubber late 70s gator. Now we got another. Let's see what else we got. Again, 1977 Imperial, folks. What is this called? I forget. Is it based on a real creature? I think it is. It's not a squeaker. It's not a Chinosaur, which are all genres of these vintage rubber toys from the late 70s and 80s, early 80s. This is like some kind of desert dwelling lizard, right? How cool is that? Really good condition too. These weren't kept in someone's attic for sure because they're just too supple. You put them in an attic for 30, 40, 50 years and they'll crack. You know what I mean? These are, they feel extremely supple and they don't have like the weird smell of being in a musty basement. Some were kept, some are really nice. They're not dusty. This is remarkable. It's like some of they're kept in like a plastic Ziploc bag in someone's closet for 50 years. That's what it seems like. There's no dust. I haven't had to give these a bath. They're not. There's no cracking. It's like they're almost like new, off the shelf. This is awesome. This is a horny toad. Those are real, by the way. 1977 Imperial. They even have some like. You can see the molding on the belly. It's got a texture to it. Look at that. What a great team. Let's move along, shall we? Look at this guy. This is a shark. This is sweet. Look how ugly this thing is. I love it. I collect rubber sharks, and this is gonna have to stay in my collection, I think. Is this like a what are those ones called that are ancient that live in like near Norway? They're super old sharks. They can I forget what they're called. This is great. This is awesome. It's semi-transparent, super nasty. I love it. It's gotta say Hong Kong. This is awesome. Something about rubber toy sharks, just cheap ones, just check a box for me, and I just tuck them away in a shoebox. This is a good one. Semi-transparent. It's not a squeaker. You can see down his belly, nothing in there. All right, let's move along. This could be what? This is awesome. He's had a leg chomped off. I can recall toys like this, and there's an arm's gonna fall off really soon. I gotta glue that or something. This is like a big housefly, a nasty housefly. Get this, checking out at the grocery store with your mom. 1978, made in Hong Kong, of course. Little quick paint job, some guy in Hong Kong smoking a cigarette. It's like 98 degrees. Just spray it and move along. You know what I mean? That's awesome. A lot of toys are made in Hong Kong, and then it moved to China, and then now it's like in Thailand. Snake. This is your obligatory cheap rubber snake in every yard throughout the United States throughout the late 70s and 80s. I had one just like this. And they had that texture in the rubber to make them feel jiggly and wiggly and, But these are everywhere. And these are known for scaring aunts and grandparents. You forget them in the yard, leave them there, and then your mom will go and scream because of that. Oh, this is good. This is a collectible, and this is a good one. These finger puppets. This is a great one. It's like an aqua transparency. You got this mold green back mane in the back. Let that soak in for a minute. This is, because it's like a, like a gel toothpaste kind of color within. This is great. These are collectible. This is a good one too. You can find these new, and they're more of a stiff PVC. Not this guy. This is the real deal banana peel. Check that out. All right. Let's move along. This is great. More sandbox toys from the late set. Look at this, like a brontosaurus, that the hunchback, back when they called them brontosauruses, which I think they weren't, and then now they are. Does it say brontosaurus? Brontosaurus. Look at that. And then they realized it was like the wrong skull on the wrong body, and then it wasn't a brontosaurus, it became like an apatosaurus or something like that. I don't know. My paleontology is a little bit rusty, but that's, you know, that hollow blow molded plastic. That's great. Jeez Louise, what is this? This is Hong Kong. This is a Bendham. There's a wire skeleton within, and these, I mean, can be always dry rot and cracked, but this is like pliable, supple rubber. This is awesome. What is this guy? This is like a lion. I don't see any other maker's marks on this, but that's the conditions. It's kind of amazing. A rubber rat. This is, I don't see a maker's mark on this one. This is like, I can't believe all these. I need to go back to that thrift store after this. After I film this and wrap this up, I'm going to go right back to that thrift store and hope for bag number 3. Look at this. This is awesome. Like root beer transparent rubber ant. Come on, stick that in your grandma's picnic basket, right? It's got that against the light. It is transparent, hand painted diligently by our good friends in Hong Kong, just for you. This is great. I don't see a maker's mark on this. It's probably, or do I? It's Imperial. Right there on its mandible or whatever. Under the cheeks or the jaw is a crown. The symbol of glory is a glorious toy symbol. That's Imperial. This is Imperial rubber ant. I love it. All right. We got more cheap plastic, which again, these are all from the late 70s. Dinosaurs. I'll probably put those all on the lot and sell them. This is an Ankylosaurus. I think a few of these listed in my store right now. Is this old? Oh wow, it is. This is an eraser. I think this is Star Wars. An eraser. I thought this was new. That old eraser, that sweet smell of the erasers from like the early 80s. Cool. There's a Diplodocus. Checking its back for a T-Rex. This is amazing. There's a Dimetrodon, I think that is. Semi-transparent. This is a sawfish. I got one of these toys as a kid at an aquarium when I was super little. Sawfish. What a cool animal. And they're real too, right? Made in Hong Kong, of course. This is rubber, semi-hollow. That's such a funny looking fish. Sawfish. What else? We got more. These things you still see out in the wild. These PVC Smurfs. I want to say shrimp. These little Smurf toys. These were everywhere in the 80s. And then they slipped through the cracks of time. And you can still see those around. That old school eraser smell. This is awesome. Like a dolphin riding a wave. A triumphant dolphin. Look how happy he is. He's riding that wave on a hot summer day. This is great. These are kind of like toys you could bring with you to school when you're a little kid. Get away with it. It's an eraser. Come on. That one had the fin bit off. That's old school. All right, so here we have a crossover. I've seen these little plastic toys sold on eBay as Dungeon and Dragon characters. So I need to do a little bit more research. I'm not a Dungeon and Dragon guy, but it's a very collectible genre of stuff. So I've seen these as characters on a Dungeon and Dragon, you know, like the listing. So I gotta look into those. Because they could be worth more than, you know, a few bucks. It could be like 20 bucks or more just for that little thing. All it takes is one. I mean, that's the thing you got to think about when you're looking at these bags of toys at thrift stores or whatever. It may be like, okay, $5, but like if there's one if they're all junk toys, but there's one like, you know, Hot Wheels Redline from 1968, it could be worth $800 if it's the right one, or if it's the right little Star Wars figure or whatever. It just all it takes is one to justify buying a bag. So just kind of look through and do your due diligence. There's a cheap little plastic woolly mammoth. Oh, this is great. Oh wow, this is McDonald's Hamburglar. Get out of here. Is that who? Or the mayor? Who is this guy? This is McDonald's, I think. This is Burger King or McDonald's. I think this is McDonald's. This is that old school super bendy erasers. Man, that's old school. Another cheap, super, cheap plastic, like a duckbill dinosaur. So these are all from the late 70s. There's nothing here dated 80s. So this is probably 77, 78, and that's it. How cool is that? That's you don't find that. I've been doing this for like 4 years, almost 5 years now. You don't find bags of Jigglers like these toys. You don't. This is an eraser. But now all these things are made it to eBay, and they're eBay priced. Even these erasers you buy on eBay. This is like the Loch Ness Monster or something. That old school, late 70s eraser. It's super gummy. They didn't really even work. It just smeared the pencil. But you were happy to have it because it's kind of like a little toy. Stegosaurus. This is a very common mold. You still see, I think to this day, you can go to like a drugstore and you still see these guys, right? This is cool. Now this is a semi-transparent. That's what I like, and I think collectors do too, just because it looks cool. The semi-transparentness of these Jigglers can look just really beautiful in the sun and the light. It's kind of hard to see right now in this video, but this is semi-transparent. A grasshopper, you can put that, in the salad at the dinner table. Made in Hong Kong. I'm assuming this has got to be Imperial. This is probably from a little plastic bag set of toys, right? Bugs. Saber-toothed cat. I've seen that mold. And then, let's see what else we got here. We got a knight. You gotta double check, make sure this is not something super special. Gotta check all these little things. I think this is another Dungeons and Dragons character. I need to check on a little thing. And then let's see, last but not least, this is awesome. I think this is Ben Cooper. I have a Ben Cooper one of these. This is awesome. This is like a legitimate Jiggler. This is freaking sweet. Now I do have a, what was it say? It's Ben Cooper? Yes, it is. Yes. Yes. 1974. Yes. You never find these. These were all Imperial. I didn't think there was an actual Ben Cooper. I thought it was a knockoff. But I actually had, so this is the second one I have. This is my first Ben Cooper find in the wild, Jiggler. This is freaking awesome. Man, I gotta go back to that thrift store. If there's like the next bag is just like all like monsters and like superheroes, that would be sweet. But this, I'm happy with this. I can't complain. This is amazing. Check that out. That's Ben Cooper. This is what did I say? 74. So, and this is great condition. There's no weird smell. They're not dusty. They weren't in someone's garage hanging from the ceiling for 50 years. So that's it. How cool is that? Look at all these things. If it falls off, it doesn't matter. They're all made of rubber and plastic. It's so much fun. So I had to get that on the channel just because this is right in the sweet spot of vintage fun toys. So I wish you all the luck in your searches for treasure. And as always, thanks for checking in.